thousands of years ago, long before modern nations, long before skyscrapers, machines, or written history itself. Sailors spoke of a terrifying mystery hidden beneath the sea. They claimed that somewhere deep beneath the ocean waves, there existed the ruins of an entire lost civilization, a civilization so advanced that its cities were said to shine like gold under the sunlight, a civilization that disappeared in a single catastrophic night. This was not just the story of a lost city. This was the story of an entire world, erased from history. But here's the terrifying part. What if this civilization was real? What if traces of it are still lying beneath the ocean floor, waiting to be discovered? In this documentary, we'll uncover the shocking mysteries of ancient underwater civilizations, the scientific discoveries hidden beneath the sea, and the terrifying disasters that may have destroyed entire worlds forever. So stay with us until the very end, because this journey is about to take us deep beneath the oceans into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Our story begins in the year 1985. The location, deep beneath the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. A team of marine researchers was exploring the ocean floor using advanced underwater cameras. At first, everything looked ordinary. Endless darkness, drifting sand, and silent underwater cliffs. But then suddenly, something unusual appeared on the monitor. Perfectly straight lines, massive stone structures, shapes that looked impossible for nature to create on its own. The researchers froze in shock, because nature rarely creates perfect geometric patterns. As the cameras moved closer, more details slowly emerged through the darkness. There were giant stone blocks, collapsed walls, long pathways buried beneath layers of sand. For a moment, it looked less like the ocean floor and more like the ruins of a forgotten city. The discovery immediately triggered worldwide fascination. Could this be evidence of an ancient civilization hidden beneath the sea? Or was it simply a strange natural formation? No one knew for certain. But one thing was clear. Humanity had begun searching for lost worlds beneath the oceans once again. But this wasn't the first time humanity had discovered something mysterious underwater. Decades earlier, near the coast of Greece, archaeologists uncovered the submerged ruins of an ancient city known as Pavlopetri. Beneath shallow blue waters, researchers discovered streets, buildings, courtyards, and stone tombs that had remained hidden for thousands of years. The discovery shocked historians around the world, because Pavlopetri was nearly 5,000 years old. That meant human civilizations had already built organized coastal cities thousands of years before many historians originally believed. But the biggest mystery wasn't how the city was built. The biggest mystery was how it disappeared. When scientists examined the region carefully, they uncovered a terrifying truth. A massive earthquake had shattered the land beneath the city. In only moments, the ground collapsed and the sea swallowed the entire civilization forever. The people living there may never even have understood what was happening. One second, life was normal, and the next, their world vanished beneath the ocean. Discoveries like Pavlopetri forced historians to ask an uncomfortable question. If one entire city could disappear beneath the sea, then how many others were still hidden underwater? And that question brought humanity back to one legendary name, Atlantis. More than 2,400 years ago, the Greek philosopher Plato wrote about a civilization unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. According to him, Atlantis existed beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the narrow passage we today call the Strait of Gibraltar. Plato described Atlantis as an enormous island kingdom filled with gigantic palaces, massive canals, and incredible engineering. But the most shocking part of the story was its destruction. According to Plato, in a single terrible day and night, Earthquakes and floods destroyed the entire civilization. The sea swallowed everything, and Atlantis disappeared forever. For centuries, most people believed the story was only a myth, a symbolic tale invented by philosophers. But modern discoveries beneath the oceans began changing that belief, because scientists slowly realized something terrifying. The oceans may be hiding far more history than humanity ever imagined. To understand how entire civilizations could vanish beneath the sea, we first need to understand the world thousands of years ago. At the end of the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago, enormous glaciers covered huge parts of Earth. But as global temperatures slowly increased, those glaciers began melting, and the consequences were catastrophic. Sea levels around the world rose dramatically. Entire coastlines disappeared underwater. Ancient rivers changed direction. Massive floods destroyed human settlements that once stood safely on dry land. Scientists believe that many early civilizations were built near oceans and rivers because water meant survival. But when sea levels suddenly rose, those same waters became deadly. Some researchers estimate that hundreds of ancient coastal settlements may now lie hidden beneath modern oceans, and evidence of this mystery has appeared across the world. Near Japan, divers discovered the strange underwater monument of Yonaguni Monument. The structure contains giant stone terraces, sharp angles, and stair-like formations beneath the sea. Some scientists believe it is natural. Others believe it may be the remains of an ancient human-made structure, and the debate continues even today. But perhaps the most fascinating mystery is not simply how these cities disappeared. It's how advanced some of them may have been. Because many ancient legends describe civilizations possessing knowledge far beyond what historians normally expect for their time. According to Plato, Atlantis was designed in enormous circular rings surrounded by water canals. Ships could supposedly sail directly into the center of the city itself. The walls were said to shine with metals like copper and tin under the sunlight. And the entire city was protected like an enormous fortress rising from the ocean. Even today, building a city like that would require incredible engineering. So how could ancient people possibly achieve it thousands of years ago? Some historians believe Plato may actually have been inspired by the ancient Minoan civilization. The Minoans were powerful sailors and traders who flourished on the island of Crete thousands of years ago. Their cities contained advanced drainage systems, complex architecture, and enormous palaces decorated with beautiful artwork. But then disaster struck. A gigantic volcanic eruption devastated nearby islands and triggered massive tsunamis across the Mediterranean Sea. One of the islands destroyed during that catastrophe was Santorini, known in ancient times as Thera. Today, Santorini has a crescent shape surrounding deep blue water. But geologists believe that before the eruption, the island may once have formed a nearly complete circle. And that detail is important, because Plato described Atlantis as a circular island surrounded by rings of water. Some researchers believe the destruction of Thera may have inspired the Atlantis legend itself. Imagine the horror people witnessed thousands of years ago. The ground trembling violently, the sky turning black with ash, gigantic waves crashing across coastal cities, entire civilizations collapsing within hours. To ancient people, such destruction would have seemed like the wrath of gods. And stories of the disaster may have survived for generations before eventually reaching Plato centuries later. But not everyone agrees with this explanation, because Atlantis is only one of many legends describing lost worlds beneath the sea. Across almost every ancient culture, stories exist about great floods that destroyed civilization.